Hi there and welcome. So maybe you're already through the menopause or you're starting to experience some changes in your body and mood that seem to be outside of your control, and you feel that these might be related to the menopause or the perimenopause. Do not worry, you're not alone, and today we're here to talk about both the perimenopause and menopause and look for different ways that we can put you back in control and to help you navigate those hormonal ups and downs. So the biggest frustrations that my clients deal with are this changing body composition. So we lose muscle mass, we start to store more fat, which seems impossible to shift despite exercising more and eating less. They complain of fatigue with energy slumps in the afternoon. Sleep is poor, non-refreshing, they just can't get to sleep, stay asleep, and they feel exhausted in the morning despite having been in bed all night. They've been getting some changes in their mood with mood swings, irritability, and maybe some worsening PMS. And then brain fog as well, so that mental clarity and sharpness just isn't there. It's harder to concentrate, they're less efficient and productive at work, and memory feels like it's just not so good. All in all, it's starting to feel like you don't recognise yourself anymore, and everything that you've tried doesn't seem to be helping. You just want to be back in control of your body again and feel that someone is listening to your symptoms. Okay, so I just want to spend a few minutes having a look at what hormones are and how they work. So hormones are just chemical substances that act like messengers within their body. So they travel to parts of their body where they help control how cells and organs work. So they're involved in many physiological processes, including growth, metabolism, appetite, puberty, and fertility. They help us to grow muscle tissue and maintain bone strength. They're involved in sort of appetite controlling, temperature regulation, and fat storage as well. They're also heavily involved with stress, sleep, and that wake cycle. Why is this happening then? So menopause is a natural part of the aging process. We are not meant to be fertile in our 60s and 70s. So the menopause itself is just one point in time where it's been 12 months since you last had a period. The average age for this to happen is 52. The perimenopause then is this transition towards the menopause, and some women can experience symptoms for up to 10 years, but most will feel this most keenly in the 4 to 5 years before the menopause. The main hormones involved in this are estrogen and progesterone. So they're really important for many of our body functions and not just our menstrual cycle and reproduction. As these levels start to decline and become unbalanced and change in ratios, it leaves us wide open to many different symptoms, so they affect all parts of our body. Our estrogen is really important in promoting muscle growth and strength, which means that it starts to fall, it's harder to build new muscle tissue. It also plays a role in building mitochondria. These are structures that produce energy for cells, and it helps to control inflammation. So as this balance becomes disrupted, it can leave you with sore joints and gut inflammation, just to name a few things. They play a role in our metabolism, so they help us to manage our blood sugars, regulate our appetite, and other things such as our body temperature and our blood pressure as well. As our progesterone starts to dip, we can be more prone to injuries, as this helps to stabilize our connective tissue. And both of these declining can affect our sleep. So our progesterone is involved in relaxation and anti-anxiety. And as this declines, it's going to have an effect on our sleep, meaning it's harder to get to sleep and stay asleep. Estrogen then helps us to get into that REM stage of sleep. It increases sleep quality and also helps to regulate our serotonin, which is involved in mood, and cortisol, which is our stress hormone. Overall, this is setting us up to be more sympathetic activation, so that fight or flight stress response, and much less parasympathetic or rest and digest. That's going to leave you sort of wired, tired, irritable, and unable to sleep, which is going to exacerbate that stress response even further. Now, the good news is that this is not all outside of your control. There are many things that you can do to stimulate these metabolic processes and ease your symptoms to allow you to transition into this phase much more smoothly. I just want to have a look at the biggest mistakes I see people make during this time and give you some tips on how you can work with your body to optimize your hormone health. So the biggest mistakes then, 1, eating less and exercising more to try and optimize your body composition. 2, cutting out important food groups. 3, not drinking enough water and relying on sugary caffeinated drinks for energy. And 4, not prioritising rest, recovery and sleep. So during this time, the big thing is that we have too much sympathetic drive. We need to be promoting rest and relaxation and not winding ourselves up further into the stress response. Okay, so mistake number 1, eat enough. I cannot stress this one enough. We have been led to believe that to lose weight and be healthy, we need to be in a huge calorie deficit and cut out all of the foods that we love. We have been conditioned to believe that being on a diet all of the time is normal. That leaves us stuck in this cycle of restriction, weight loss, followed by a slide back to the old habits and the inevitable weight gain. The term diet implies a temporary restriction to your normal eating habits, and this is why they don't work. Also, trying to survive in a huge calorie deficit is never going to work. We need to make sure that you are eating enough. As a busy woman, particularly if you're working out, it's really easy to underestimate the number of calories that you need to be healthy and to support you in everything that you do. Your basal metabolic rate, this is the calories that you need to maintain basic physiological functions. So that's to breathe, to keep your heart beating, to make your hormones, is around 1400 calories per day. So this is the energy that you burn just to stay alive. When you drop your intake to this level or below, you have insufficient energy intake to meet your demand. You cannot maintain your health and it's going to backfire sooner or later, probably sooner. This is going to leave you regaining any weight that you've lost and possibly more, and you're putting your physical and mental health at risk. So on top of all of that, what a very low calorie diet is going to do, it's going to slow your thyroid down, push your cortisol up, your metabolism slows down to conserve energy. Your body becomes more resistant to growth hormone. So it's using the calories it needs to keep it alive and it's not focusing on growing new muscle tissue. And your body is actively going to try and make you eat more. So it's going to increase your hunger by increasing your ghrelin hormone and decrease your fullness hormone or your leptin. Okay, so this is why low calories diets do not work and will backfire. The next big mistake here, especially in women who train, is not eating regularly throughout the day and not fueling their body in and around their training sessions. So as women, we are busy, we are under a lot of stress, we have jobs, kids and other responsibilities. There is a tendency to skip meals during the day and maybe make it up again in the evening. This might mean that overall you're hitting your calorie requirements, but the timing is out. If you have prolonged periods of not eating during the day and you don't eat before you train, your body doesn't have the fuel that it needs when it needs it. So it's still in a low energy availability state. This is incredibly stressful for your body. It's going to push you further into that sympathetic overdrive. So this is the thing that we're trying to get out of. So to counteract this, make sure you have a pre-workout snack. You eat regularly throughout the day. And after you work out, I want you to follow up with your main meal within the next hour. Okay, so it's not just the total calories that we're eating throughout the day, but when we eat them. So you want to focus on 3 meals a day, 2 to 3 snacks, and that's every day, even on the days that you're busy, even on the days that you're not exercising. Eating like this is going to help your metabolism. You're going to have more stable blood sugars throughout the day. You're going to have more energy throughout the day with no afternoon slump. You're going to have better recovery and better results from your exercise and better quality sleep. Mistake 2 then. All macros are important. So what is a macronutrient? A macronutrient is simply something, or nutrient, that your body needs in large amounts to function optimally. Carbs are not bad for us. Fat is not bad for us. And higher protein diets are not bad for us. There is not one magic macro, and cutting any of them out completely is going to have side effects. What is bad for us is junk food, highly processed food, skipping meals and replacing them with sugary caffeinated drinks, training fasted and not giving your body the fuel that it needs. When we dig into nutrition, the biggest mistakes here are too many calories from processed food and junk foods. These are high in refined or simple carbs, so that's sugar with all of the fibre stripped off. They're high in saturated and trans fats, which are the unhealthy fats, and they are usually too low in good quality proteins. Eating in balance doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need to count calories and macros. So how much do you need to eat? Each meal should look like this. This is a really easy serving suggestion. Each meal is going to have 1 pound of protein. You're going to have one fist of vegetables. You're going to have a cupped handful of carbs, so something healthy like cooked grains, rice, lentils, oats, something like that. And then 1 thumb of fat. So you get your fats from olive oil, nuts, seeds, nut butters, that type of thing. What are you going to eat? So you're going to eat whole foods. So these are non-processed foods. How do you know if something is processed? So it's a really simple rule. Read the ingredient list. If there are more than 5 ingredients, or there are words in here that do not sound like food or are unpronounceable, then it's processed. I put a few examples here. So we've got the ingredients from a popular brand of sausages and a protein bar. As you can see here, there are many, many things that we do not need. They've got a lot of sort of emulsifiers, preservatives, sweeteners. Sweeteners, despite being sugar-free, they still cause gut dysbiosis and can lead to glucose intolerance. And people who eat a lot of sugar, drink a lot of sugar-free drinks, tend to be heavier than people who don't. Okay, so it's not just about the sugar. I'm not saying never eat these things, but they should not be the main focus of our diet. There are better choices. We also tend to get overcomplicated and worry about gluten and other allergies. If you think you have issues with a certain food group, try cutting it out for 3 or 4 weeks and then add back in 1 or 2 test doses. If you notice no difference, it's probably okay to keep this in your diet. If you feel much better without it, keep it out. The really important point here is that whatever you cut out, you have a really good substitute for. Mistake 3 then. Do you want to look like the grape or do you want to look like the raisin? Okay, so make sure that you're drinking water throughout the day. If you don't drink enough water, you're going to be dehydrated. Dehydration is stressful. Studies have shown that just half a litre or 500 mils of dehydration will increase your cortisol levels. So that's the thing that's driving that stress response. We are trying to get your cortisol down. A big cup of sugary coffee does not help. 1, caffeine is a diuretic, so it's going to make you pee out more water, exacerbating that dehydration. And it's a stimulant as well, so it's going to push up your heart rate, your blood pressure, and your cortisol levels. It can make it more difficult to sleep if you're having it in the evening time. All in all, exacerbating that stress response. Aim for 2 litres of water a day. This is going to leave you feeling less sluggish, less bloated, less constipated, with a clearer head, overall making you feel much more relaxed and productive. Sleep then. Okay, so sleep is an absolutely vital physiological process. During sleep, the body repairs and regrows tissue. It builds bone and muscle and strengthens our immune system. REM sleep is vital for embedding new skills and helping you to absorb and retain new information and learning. I am going to go deeper into sleep on stages, the circadian rhythm and hormones at a later stage, but sleep is hormone controlled. We've got 2 main hormones here. We've got cortisol, which is your wake-up hormone. This is meant to be high in the morning, and then those levels tail off during the day. And then melatonin, which is your sleep hormone. This starts to pick up in the evening time. During the perimenopause, with the hormone imbalances, it becomes much more difficult to get into a deep sleep. The declining levels of estrogen and progesterone mean that you also start to produce less melatonin. So we know that poor sleep is incredibly stressful. It's going to give you higher cortisol levels throughout the day, making it even more difficult to sleep. It's a bit of a vicious cycle. Our evening time routine should be set up to promote relaxation and sleep. I want you to get into the habit of going to bed and getting up at the same time every day. This helps us to have more stable secretion of hormones and keeps us on that sort of regular schedule. I've got an easy rule for you as well here as well. So the 10-3-2-1 rule. 10 hours before bed, no more caffeine. Caffeine's got a really long half-life and it takes up to 10 hours to clear from your system. 3 hours before bed, no more alcohol. Alcohol might make you feel sleepy, but it disrupts your breathing and temperature controls, and it makes it more difficult to get to sleep and stay asleep, and it stops you getting into a deep sleep or restorative sleep. 2 hours before bedtime, no more work. This is wind down time. And 1 hour before bed, no more screen time. So phones, TVs, computers. The blue light from these screens suppresses melatonin secretion, which makes it more difficult to get to sleep. Okay, so if you are struggling to get to sleep, or you find yourself waking up after a couple of hours with your heart flying or palpitations, or that sort of anxiety feeling, or you feel that you never get into a deep sleep, so you're sort of like semi-aware all night, I want you to try adding in a snack 90 minutes before bedtime. Carbs after 7 p.m, despite what we've been told, are not bad for us. Carbs cause an increase in a protein called tryptophan, and this is a building block both for serotonin and melatonin. So melatonin helps us sleep. Serotonin also controls sleep, mood, and appetite, so both are really important. Try adding in something light, so a small bowl of oats, some rice cakes, banana, and a little bit of honey or a piece of fruit, and see if that helps you get into a better sleep. There are a couple of supplements that I would maybe suggest as well. So this tart cherry juice, which you can get as a supplement, is a precursor for melatonin. And then magnesium, which controls gabapentin, a neurotransmitter. A little dose of this in the evening time can help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's going to help you get sort of calm and relaxed and ready for sleep. So both of those things might be worth the trial. Okay, so we know that dialing in our nutrition, hydration, and sleep can have a huge impact in supporting our bodies and promoting this parasympathetic activation. Providing the micronutrients that we need will also help to support us through a time when things are unbalanced, and will help to protect us from the negative effects and decline of the hormones. The next biggest thing that we need to do is adjust our mindset on what health is. So health is not being super skinny. Nobody needs a thigh gap. Those people who say nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, it does. They are just fooling themselves. Next time that you start a new health regimen, let's adjust your mindset. So this is not about restriction. I want you to focus on all the things that you're going to be gaining. So we're going to be gaining energy that lasts all day, mental clarity and focus that allows you to be your most productive self, a deep restorative sleep that allows you to enjoy your downtime without feeling sluggish or run down, and it gives you a strong body that's going to support you in everything that you do. We need to challenge the belief that being lighter is going to make us feel better. Our goal weight needs to be the one where we perform at our best, and that's whether you're an athlete, a mum, or a career-driven professional. Okay, so just a few summary points then. 1, regular meals throughout the day plus snack. You're going to fuel your training sessions, so a snack before you work out, and making sure you follow that up with a main meal within the hour after you finish. All macronutrients are important. So macronutrients are nutrients that our bodies need in large amounts. So we need carbs, we need fats, and we need proteins. And we're going to focus on not just improving our sleep quantity, but our sleep quality as well, giving your body the chance to repair and recover. Okay, so I just want you to try and pick out 2 or 3 of these points that you can start putting into practice today. Start with small, repeatable steps that you can stay consistent with, even on the days when things are very busy and stressful, rather than trying to make drastic life changes all at once. Okay. If you need any further help or support, please get in touch. So you can contact me on my email address or on Instagram. I'm also going to try and do a few more of these videos and get them uploaded onto a YouTube channel. So it's something just to keep an eye out for as well. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day.